Uh, so, and I forgot to turn on the trade again. There we go. Wow, these last several days have been they've been very emotional for me. So much so that between sharing my feelings, getting up extremely early to do my feelings, and if the last 2 days I forgot to turn on the tree trying to record was any indication, I'm very tired. But it's a good tired. Like, if nothing else, I did everything I was supposed to do, or I feel like I was supposed to do, for now. There's still a few more videos regarding the Why I'm Still Here series, but I'll get to that next week, because at the end of the day, like, for now, I've said everything I needed to say, everything I wanted to say. So, with that said, let's get to my low, my high, and my act of kindness. My low is pretty self-explanatory. It snowed. A lot. Like, there were people who were terrified of leaving their homes today. Oh, here's the thing. The day before yesterday, like, all the schools were getting canceled left and right. And by the time yesterday morning began, if you were to look outside and think, okay, they lied, that's exactly what everyone thought. Because, like, they canceled all the schools and everything, but it didn't even really snow at all. In fact, yesterday actually started off kind of nice. But then around, I'd say, maybe 9, 10 o'clock, that's when things started getting bad. Like, first it started sleeting, it started a little bit of hailing, and then, freezing rain and snow, and then warmed up a little bit, so we got regular rain, which melted some of the stuff, and then it got cold again, so whatever water was there after the rain melted, froze. It's just, the weather was just all over the place yesterday. So needless to say, a lot of people were worried about driving. Yours truly was worried about driving too. But, I was able to navigate my way through everything just fine. I mean, yeah, there was a skid maybe here and there, but, like, nothing that you need to be worried about. But, my high is, and here's the thing, I live in upstate New York. Even with the whole global warming thing going on and everything, I still do kind of expect a white Christmas. As of right now, it looks like that's going to be the case, which is awesome. To make things even better, tonight, Horse says it's having holidays, which right now I do plan on going, provided that the weather isn't, too bad. I'm ready to go and everything. So, that's great. If you see me there, don't worry. I'll be wearing this hat, so you'll be able to see me. It's nice. And, sorry. I think I'm also coming down with something too. And also why I'm a bit tired. And my act of kindness yesterday was, well, because it snowed yesterday, naturally by the time I got to my folks' place to visit them, obviously their driveway was completely covered in snow, so I shoveled it for them. Of course, it continued to snow, so you probably, if you saw my folks' driveway now, you'd probably be under the impression I didn't really do anything. When, trust me, I did. I shoveled up my parents' driveway and the walkway up to their front door where you ring the doorbell. Yeah, full disclosure, even though my folks have a front door with a doorbell, our usual method of getting inside the house is actually going through the garage. And, you know, it's one of those garage doors that has a code. You gotta know the code too, and, you know, press the buttons, and, you know, then you open the garage door. Which actually, I've always found this kind of weird. Like, only a select few people know the code to get into my parents' garage. And the door to get into the house from the garage, there's a lock that you can, it's one of those like turn locks or whatever. But no one knows the code to get inside the garage. Even if you somehow open the garage, you still can get inside the house because the door's locked at night. I mean, now I kind of get why my dad locks it like he does. And full disclosure, I lock my door too at night. Like seriously, the instant I get into my apartment, after I lock my car, actually, fun fact, I can actually lock my car from my very doorway. It's really cool. You know, I can actually hear the beep. Because sometimes you lock your car, you hear the car beep. I can hear that, and it's really kind of cool that I'm able to hear it. I'm getting sidetracked. So I'm able to lock my car from my room, and then I just lock my door into my apartment. So you could essentially say I'm on lockdown right now. You know, nobody gets in or out without my permission. And I'm the only one here, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, sometimes I mean, you never know. I do live in Elmira, so you know, specifically on the south side, so you can imagine how on the dangerous side it might be a little bit. Sorry. Man, this I think I really am coming out with something. Nothing too serious, mind you, but I'll try and be careful. So, been a while since I've been able to say this, but happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, seriously, the last 3 days I didn't do Happy Tuesday, Happy Hump Day, or Happy Thursday. I did Happy Friday, though. I mean, yeah, I know, I kind of missed out on a lot of things. I didn't make an NFL pick out yesterday, among several other things I could have probably talked about. But full disclosure, when those videos, when the Why I'm Still Here videos come out, they take priority. And I feel they should take priority. That's why I had to be that way. So, full disclosure, the last night, I know that the 49ers and the Seahawks played. I, for the life of me, don't know who won. I mean, I would have picked the 49ers to win anyway. So, if anyone sees this and has been paying attention to my NFL picks, if you think I would pick the 49ers, I was right. So, there you go. That was my pick. So, I suppose the only thing to really, talk about is, yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. Because, just like I thought, yesterday was the season finale. I couldn't believe it. Of course I could believe it. Mid-December is usually when the last new episode of the year airs. And, we are officially we're over halfway through December right now. So, yeah, we're almost done. Not just with December, but this whole year. Crazy, huh? And, I mean, outside of the whole Why I'm Still Here videos, I will be honest, I had no idea who Paul Dano was. Like, not at all. Again, you're dealing with a moron here. I had no idea who Paul Dano was. I mean, I did look him up and see what he was in. Like, he was in Swiss Army Man, The Batman, he was the Riddler. And he was in that new movie about Steven Spielberg's life called The Fabelmans. But I didn't really know much about him outside of that. But if there's one thing Hollywood has always been consistent in doing is if their guest is someone who you don't know who that person is, or you know literally nothing about them, you learn so much about that person. Even some obscure stuff that you would have no idea what it was. But I'm getting sidetracked. So they did talk about a few things. Actually, that was that really stuck out to me. Partly, one thing that really stuck out to me, because Paul Dano is proven to be a great actor. We all know this. Well, now I know this, so now I can say we all know this. But it never really does occur to some people how difficult it could potentially be to be playing one character with one kind of personality in a movie, only to do something completely different in terms of character and personality in another. And it's, the example that Paul Dano mentioned, which was playing the Riddler in Batman, and playing his character in The Fabelmans. And let's get into The Fabelmans, shall we? Because yes, the movie is about. I've never seen The Fabelmans, but I can already tell you what it is. It's Steven Spielberg's life. Steven Spielberg is legit directing a movie about his own life, which you would think kind of sounds like a bit of a disaster, but it's Steven Spielberg. First of all, if anyone can pull it off with aplomb, it would be him. And second of all, it's Steven Spielberg. He earned it. I could make an entire video about any and all of the movies he's done throughout his entire career, including the 2 movies he won Oscars for, Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List. Not to mention stuff like E.T., he created Animaniacs, and a lot of the WB shows that people my age grew up with. The Indiana Jones movies, I could go on and on. So considering that he was directing a movie about his life, that's already impressive as it is. But for Steven Spielberg to ask Paul Dano to play Steven Spielberg's father in a movie about Steven Spielberg, shortly after Steven Spielberg's actual father had just passed away. I couldn't possibly imagine how much respect and trust for someone that a person would need to have to ask anyone to do something like that. Because here's the thing, we all Steven Spielberg really is living out one fantasy that a lot of people, whether we realize or not, do have. Because more often than not, you hear the question, if a movie was ever made about your life, who would play you? Or who would play this person in your life? Stuff like that. And you never really think, personally, I never really gave that much thought because, everyone wants to be famous. I want to be famous. I want to do stuff like that, sure. But for a movie to be made about me, if anyone were to ask me that question, I would tell you straight up, I couldn't answer that. No way. Not even, I couldn't. Partly because by the time I would potentially get that famous, I'd probably be an old man. So I would need to seek out a young actor, and chances are that young actor isn't even born yet. So there you go. And by that logic, anyone around me would also have to get older than me too. which is actually a real shame because here's the thing. There's no way I could definitively answer who would ever play me in the movie. But after mulling it over after watching yesterday's Hot Ones episode, I actually do have kind of an idea of who would play my dad. I got a few options. My first pick was actually Jon Hamm. Jon Hamm playing my dad. That'd be pretty cool. Bruce Campbell could probably do it. That's really about all I got. But it's just this episode of Hot Ones legit made me think, wow, there was a movie. Who would play, if a movie was ever made about me, who would play my dad? I can't believe that actually happened. I mean, I'm not going to think that far ahead. I'm not going to think that, this guy should play. No, I'm not going to think that at all. If we're being frank, I'm just happy that, I'm doing what I'm doing now. And sure, maybe, let's be honest, sometimes if a movie is made about a person, it's because they already died, so hopefully that's not going to be the reason why a movie is made about me. But whoever they did, if a movie was ever made about me, whoever they did cast, I'm sure they would have picked the very best to do it. Because I wouldn't be surprised if a close family member of mine was the person who picked that person out. Was the one who picked that actor out to play me. So, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, this is a really good episode of Hot Ones. And keep in mind, normally when Hot Ones has a season finale, they've gotten people like Weird Al Yankovic or John Mayer or Daniel Radcliffe under the season once. Which actually reminds me, he and Paul Dano were in Swiss Army Man. Which actually they talked about like one of the greatest fart jokes ever. Which, yeah, I know. Fart jokes, I want to say I'm too highbrow for fart jokes anymore, but a good enough fart joke is going to get me, I can assure you. My point is, when it's an actor that I don't know about, or much about, let's say, I don't really know how to approach an episode, especially when it's a season finale, but honestly, this is about as good of a season finale as anyone could hope for. I mean, if we're being technical, there wasn't anything groundbreaking or magnificent. But considering, I think, the year that I've had, and for a lot of people, the year that everyone's had, and considering that this is the time of year where things get busy and stressful, and we have to talk about, miracles happening, and maybe some people are dealing with loss, or anything about that regarding this time of year, you need something good. You need something pretty darn good, but not so overstimulating that by the time you come to and remember what your life is really like, it's not a complete letdown. And this episode legit provided that sweet spot for it. So, to the good folks over at First Sweet Feast and behind Hot Ones, Sean Evans, Chris Schoenberger, and the rest of the crew regarding Hot Ones, thank you for a wonderful 19th season. I hope that this season was great for you all. I hope that you're taking this time now to rest, relax, and prepare for 2023. Actually, you know what? I think I can make a rather too early prediction of when we're going to get season 20. Because, yeah, season 20. That's going to be next year, isn't it? If I were to take a guess when we're getting Hot Ones season 20, I think we're talking at least a month from now. Bare minimum. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in February. So you know what? I need to look. I need to think something over real quick. So New Year's Day is going to be a Sunday, meaning every Friday, January 6th. Hey, there's going to be a Friday the 13th next year. That's really cool. It is kind of cool if you don't believe in bad luck. So the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th. Then, if my math is correct, February 1st. Actually, no. I got it. It'd be the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 26th. That's 5 days left, so 28. So, February 2nd. That's when I predict we're going to get season 20. Keep in mind, I don't think that's what it's going to be. It might be a little bit sooner. But if it's February 2nd, I mean, seriously, if I wind up being right about that, no one's going to be more surprised or happy than this guy. And frankly, no one is more surprised or happy as to how great season 19 wound up being. So again, to the good folks over at First Week Feast, thank you for a wonderful season of Hot Ones. See you next year in the new year, in 2023. And we're coming up to the end of the year, guys. Crazy, right? I got an important day ahead of me. So, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, follow me on social media, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As always, I am very humbled to make this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, for them you guys want to talk to channel, always want to be here to let me know. Always everybody, take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.